strict controls? Like what is it? What
are the strict controls?
Yeah, what would you be getting? What's left over once the strict controls are passed?
Well, it's first of all, it's trying to remove obviously facially identifying information, name, address, stuff that really leads to individuals, and second, stripping away information that's not strictly required to kind of test the financial implications of the data, but nonetheless has an identifying quality to it. I mean, how data anonymization works is you take one database and you look at a field, and then you compare, or you cross-reference that database and that field with another database. And if those two databases have common fields, have common points of data, then that second database, if it's got identifying features in it, can be used to re-identify the anonymized database. So a really good example, Netflix had its kind of database of user tastes and interests and whatnot, and said, we've anonymized this, and no one can re-identify this stuff. Well, a researcher just took that Netflix database that is made available and cross-referenced usernames against the Internet Movie Database, kind of that public online database, and was able to re-identify tons and tons of data in the Netflix database. That's how it works.
Right.
Find a common name, a common field, a common, whether it's maybe it's a medical test, maybe it's an address, maybe it's a code that the province is using to code specific treatments, and you can use that data to re-identify, and that's the concern, right? We all have real privacy interests around our health data, and Philip Morris might not have any kind of interest in re-identifying it, but if the information gets out, there may be other people out there who do. And regardless, it's our health data. We've got concerns about how that data is treated, how it gets out, and who has access to it.
So, do you have enough faith then in the controls are strict enough?
Well, I think I do. The proposal from British Columbia, was we're gonna have a safe place, and StatsCan is that safe place, right? They're the guys that deal with the census. They are totally used to dealing with sensitive information and protecting that information. And so I've got confidence that kind of place and the kind of controls that they're going to put in place around removing identifiers and removing the ability to make copies and remove copies from that safe space, that'll be sufficient to guard our privacy interests, I think.
Do you think other provinces are going to follow suit?
Oh, absolutely. One of the reasons I think why the Supreme Court took this case was we had a conflict in the Court of Appeals. New Brunswick had already gone this route, and on the same issue, the New Brunswick, Court of Appeal had said that the StatsCan solution with strict re-identification protocols in place